Eugene, there was a pretty successful weekend, not the weekend just gone by, but the one before. Yep. Tell us a little bit about what happened in Carlos. Doesn't take long to talk about that fight.
Yeah, no, Carlos, we're obviously very pleased with Carlos's performance. Yeah, you're never going to complain about getting in and out of a fight, that quickly. The longer the fight goes, the more risk you take, especially when you're fighting these guys that we fight. They're the best guys in the world. Lonzo Menifield's a great fighter. He's one of the best in the world. He's very good at what he does. He chose to be aggressive, and it doesn't take much for that fight to change. And maybe Carlos is on the back end of something that we didn't expect. So. He took some risks, and then we managed to capitalise on those risks that we were taking. But it worked out all in our favour. A lot of credit has to go to our wrestling coach Andrei, because normally we're pretty silent, we're pretty stoic. When it's all happening and you're just standing there waiting for the fight to happen, you're just trying to control yourself and put your mind in the right place. And there's not a lot to be done. It's just the ring announcer doing their announcing. But then Andrei weirdly turned to me, and it just goes to say this is how the best guys in the world operate. But he turns to me and he goes, "Tell Carlos I think he's going to rush him right from the start." Excuse me. And then I looked at him, and because that's typically not a normal thing for Andrei to do, so I knew I had to get Carlos's attention, which is very hard to do when there's 20,000 people screaming and the ring announcer going off. But I got Carlos's attention, and I said, "Look, just be sharp, because there's a chance that he might come at you very aggressively from the start." And I got that. He nodded in approval and said, "Yep, I'll be ready." And then sure enough, Andrei's premonition came true, and he rushed, and Carlos was able to take advantage of it. So like I said, when you are privileged like I am to work with some of the best guys in the world like Andrei, all we're doing is taking constant observations the whole time, from the minute you get eyes on the opponent to the minute we walk out of there. Doesn't matter what the observations are, you're just paying attention to every little single detail you can. And there was something that Andrei saw that led him to turn to me and make that statement, and then I got it to Carlos, and then you never know. Maybe that was the difference, those little words of warning, that little premonition. Maybe that was the difference between Carlos being the victor and not being the victor. So very pleased with it. Yeah.
Not so pleasing with the Kevin's opponent not making weight, or did you get the full story there? Yep. And it is, you can't, it is what it is. Apparently he was cutting weight, which is obviously a tremendously difficult thing to do for some people. And he's got up too quickly, or he hasn't had the right, because he hasn't mitigated some of the things that can happen properly when you weight cut. One of the risks whenever we weight cut, and everybody knows, is you can kind of get lightheaded, fall over and knock your head or something. That's why professionals and people that do this, they take care of all these little things that can possibly happen. So I believe he fell over and knocked his head, and then was ruled unable to participate in the fight again, which is it's a weird one, because that's the one you hear all the time. So not to take anything away from the fella, it might have actually happened, but that's one that, not again. The guy fell over during a weight cut and knocked his head again. I think the trouble is that there are a lot of fellas that use that one as an excuse, and so it makes when it does actually happen, and I've had it happen to fighters here, it's like the boy who cried wolf. I'm not saying I believe that he genuinely fell over and knocked his head and couldn't compete, but
the dog ate my homework.
Yeah, I believe he actually fell over, but people need to be more professional. People need to, there's a whole team of people that know how to do weight cut and follow a protocol and have different steps, have different roles when the weight cutting happens to avoid things like this happening. So I'm sure he'll make amends and put the things in place that he needs to do. But yeah, disappointing.
Did the UFC offer anything like a quick turnaround for Kevin, or he has to do weight cuts too, so it's not just as easy as...
They did, but the problem with Kevin and with probably the majority of the welterweight division is that, 2 successive weight cuts in a row is almost detrimental. So it's almost better. You're almost better not doing a quick turnaround and just recuperating the body. And when you're at the end, when you're at the pointy end, like obviously Kevin's opponent and Kevin are, where you're cutting a fair bit, it's just not possible to do a quick turnaround. So I think he's going to regroup and look for Paris. He's in France at the moment, visiting his family. He'll regroup and look to just prepare everything for Paris. So just waiting for an opponent.
While you're over there, we're all waiting anxiously if there's any news about Aaron Toad.
Well, this is my same answer I can always give. I'm always having conversations. Yeah, it's part of my job as as the coach of these boys to let the people know how good they are and that I think that they can compete with the best guys in the world. So there's always constant conversations going on, Tony. But no hard news that I can put down without.
Same weekend you were away, Cobb took a team up to Townsville, pretty successful.
I watched a few snippets of the fights, but I heard it was a great show too. I heard Damian Brown put on a wicked show. Had a full crowd, and then I think everybody fought well up there. Kieran, the Maoki brothers, and then Adam lost, but had a barn burner of a fight. He fought. He's actually a lightweight, but we took a fight at the division up just because the guy just wants to fight, and it was a back and forth fight. He had the guy in trouble in the first round. The guy came back in the second, and then the third round, the guy managed to get on top of Adam and finish the fight. The ref finished the fight. So I heard it was an excellent performance, and that's the kind of night you're happy with, because even in a loss, you can still garner a lot out of it. They were good losses, if there is such a thing. Whereas a few weeks ago, some of the losses I was a bit disappointed in. Gina made some silly mistakes. The Balkan Bear made some silly mistakes. Whereas if you have a good fight and you lose, and you just lose because you made small little technical errors, that's fine. You can learn from that and move on.
Talking about the top class athletes, where to from here? Who's up next?
Obviously Carlos, he can turn around real quickly, and it's just negotiating Israel's fight, but he's obviously, the rumour is that he's looking for Perth. Kai's working on something, Dan's working on something. There's still a bit going on. So, but no hard news I can.
Okay, I'll keep harassing you.
Give me a week or two.
Okay, we'll do that. Thanks, mate.